So it's actually been a long time since I've played the Spyro Reignited trilogy, but recently I've been itching to play it again as I was inspired to try out one of those Steam Refund challenges I've seen other YouTubers do. Whenever the PC version for Spyro came out, I actually held world records for a bit in the Spyro 2 Any% and 40 Orb categories, but in the current day, it's safe to say I'm pretty washed up. That, and while I have obviously played Spyro 1 and 3 quite a bit, I've never actually speedrun these games before. But I mean, I'm a pretty competent speedrunner, so what's the worst that could happen?
Didn't mean to do that, but it's okay. I didn't know that would happen. 99. What? Should I have 100? Wait. Oh no. Oh no.
So while it's no secret that I'm not the biggest fan of these remakes, or remakes in general, I still think the Reignited trilogy is pretty fun. And like I've shown in other videos, it is just as, if not more broken than the originals, so I think you guys will have a lot of fun seeing what I came up with for this route. So to start things off, I first bought the game on a new Steam account, and I completely missed the game sale that was going on, so instead of it costing me $14 if I messed up the speedrun, I would be out $40 and a bit of my dignity, so I'm hoping for no major mistakes. And luckily you guys don't need to make the same mistake I made either, because today's video sponsor Wanted Dead is on sale on Steam right now. From the developers that brought us Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive, Wanted Dead doubles as both a hack and slash and third-person shooter where we play as ex-convict turned cop Hannah Stone. The game definitely has a cyberpunk vibe to it, fitting in with that high-tech yet dystopian narrative. Just like most hack and slash games, we'll need to clear through mobs of enemies using a combination of our katana, handgun, and whatever heavy firepower we can come across, seamlessly transitioning between all three to effectively take out opponents. This game has a lot of charm to it, with elements you wouldn't expect, like custom-made arcade games and anime-style animated cutscenes. And how can I not talk about the super hot fire loading screen? You can just tell the devs had a lot of fun putting this game together. What really caught me off guard is just how difficult this game is, and it's important to take advantage of all resources, whether it be item pickups, or maybe you come across a chainsaw allowing you to one-shot enemies. So if you're the type of gamer that's looking for a challenge, this game is perfect for you. And by the way, the developers have just rolled out the first patch for the PC version of this game, elevating your gaming experience to new heights. Dive into the improved quality of life and gear up for even more enhancements coming your way. Steam players are the first to experience this game-changing update right now. But don't worry console players, your turn is just around the corner, expect the next patch to hit your platform in just 3 weeks. So there's no better time to get this game because as of the posting of this video, Wanted Dead is 50% off on Steam until January 4th. The game is also available on Epic Games Store. And if you're a console player, you can find it on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. Thanks again to Wanted Dead for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the speedrun. Timing starts immediately upon loading up the game, so any time spent in menus or loading screens will count against me, whereas a traditional speedrun for this game would use a load remover. It's worth mentioning I barely practiced leading up to performing this run, which sounds a bit strange, but I felt like by not practicing and letting muscle memory take over would allow me to relax more and play safer, so we'll have to see how that plays out for me. After getting past the title screen, I'll start off this challenge in Spyro 2. The first thing I noticed upon loading up the game was that the menus were looking a little too crisp for me, so I knew I would have to open the graphics options and change a few things up. I'm sure there was probably more I was supposed to change, but all that came to mind was setting the FPS to 30 and toggling motion blur to off. The reason I turned the FPS to 30 is because lowering our FPS makes Spyro hover a little higher than usual. This is almost not noticeable at all, but will be necessary for the first moneybag skip of the speedrun. To do this, I'll need to perform a perfect hover, which is done by perfectly timing a jump, glide, and hover to gain height and land on different objects. Unfortunately, just like real life, I am not good at working pulls, and I was struggling to perform this perfect hover, which isn't uncommon for me. In a normal speedrun, I would just reset at this point, but obviously I couldn't here and would have to suffer. But eventually I did get the pull jump, skipped moneybags, and ran to the end of the level. Not a great start to the run, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that bad, and I could easily make up for it later. It's just unfortunate I couldn't turn on higher jumps and skip the pull jump altogether.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you guys know how Spyro 2 speedrunners normally mod the game so they can jump higher, right? Like just look at the world record. They jump across the Glimmer Bridge without even doing the pull jump. So what exactly is going on here? At some point, Spyro speedrunners began noticing that sometimes they were able to clear certain gaps or jumps that normally weren't feasible at all. For example, this jump from the Wall of Autumn Plains to Fractured Hills, which you can see the world record holder Dr. House do to bypass buy and climb. So as it turns out, if the game is open for 90 minutes or longer, it's not that Spyro gets higher jumps, but apparently the rate at which he descends when gliding is less than usual, making these faraway jumps much more feasible. Bro, easy money. What do you mean that's hard? Come on. Take my second try. We have no idea why the game works like this, and to avoid forcing runners to keep their game open for 90 minutes before starting runs, the community has decided to allow a console injector to use a slow-mo code, which does the opposite of what you would think it does, and it speeds up the game into getting to that state much quicker. I considered using this for my challenge run, but not only did it kind of feel like cheating, but also there's a cutoff with how much you can speed the game up by, and it would take me about 2 to 3 minutes just to set up, nullifying most, if not all the time save it would grant, while also forcing me to do difficult strats like Magma Cone Climbless, which has no backups for if you mess up, so I'll just be sticking with paying money bags of 500 gems or climb. Anyways, back to my run. After heading out of Glimmer, we'll arrive at Summer Forest, and I'll need to make sure to not mash through the cutscene here super hard, as it's possible to not softlock the game, but make it so the screen is completely black, so for most intro cutscenes, I'll try to contain myself. Gem pickups are pretty obvious throughout this run, and I'm not going to point out too much, other than I have a general route that I go by. But things can go off the rails quite a bit, where I either get more or less gems than I'm supposed to, and have to resort to backups. Luckily, I know where every gem is located in this game, so I'm not too stressed over gems. In Idle Springs, the main objective is to defeat the idols blocking each doorway as soon as possible so that the workers can open the doors for Spyro. While waiting for them to open doors, I'll pick up any nearby gems and kill the nearby fodder to increase the butterfly counter. Every 10 fodder Spyro kills will grant a blue butterfly that gives an extra life and completely replenishes sparks, which I'll be taking advantage of later. The next level is Colossus. Normally in this level, you're meant to kill enemies to unlock power-ups like the spring to jump to different surfaces. But by doing a few perfect hovers around these objects, we can make our way up to this area, and then charge jump onto this wall, and head straight to the end of the level. After collecting the talisman here, instead of exiting the level, I'm going to open up the guidebook and warp back to Summer Forest manually. This places me at the start of the hub area by Glimmer, which I'll then enter. But just as I touch the portal, I'll hit a frame-perfect pause. I'll know I hit the correct frame if the pause screen says Glimmer rather than Summer Forest. But because the game thinks we're in an actual level, we have the option to exit, and by selecting that option, we'll exit the level instantly after entering it. I'm not exactly sure what this does to the game, but what occurs when we do this instead of exiting out the Glimmer portal like you'd expect, a wrong warp occurs, and we exit out of Ocean Speedway instead. This places us on the other side of Summer Forest and skips by and swim, saving 500 gems throughout the speedrun. I was really worried about this trick losing me a lot of time because not only is it frame perfect, but there's a random chance that the trick just doesn't work and you do end up exiting out of Glimmer. I think this is partially hardware related and the speed at which you exit level does matter a bit, but I have had this trick fail 3 times in a row even after getting the pause, and you can see during my attempt it appears like I exited out of Glimmer, but luckily the camera was just trolling me and I did in fact exit out of Ocean Speedway. While you watch me clear through Hurricos with my perfect hover shenanigans, it's worth mentioning that the wrong warp I performed can be done with any portal in the game. But because most levels have an intro cutscene, this messes with the transition and the game just softlocks. However, Glimmer doesn't have an intro cutscene, as it's the first level we load into after the beginning cinematics play out, meaning it's the only portal in Summer Forest we can actually use for this glitch. Anyways, after glitching my way out of bounds through Hurricos, we're now onto Sunny Beach. Sunny Beach presents a unique hurdle since the beginning portion of the level is enclosed by walls, and you can only proceed by diving in water, and if you haven't forgotten, Spyro never learned how to swim. I'm actually the one that discovered both the Ocean Speedway wrong warp, and when trying to figure out this level, I eventually found that the nearby turtle could be used to clip through the wall. I struggled a bit with this at first, but eventually clipped through the wall on my second try. Next I'll glide to the end of the level from out of bounds, but instead of walking the turtle in this area up to the pad to open the door, I'll fly into this body of water, and despite not knowing how to swim, if we hold X, Spyro is able to move in the water, albeit very slowly. From here I'll proceed through the bodies of water until I get myself behind the wall where we end the level, and just fly through it to complete it. Now we're on to the final level of Summer Forest, Aquaria Towers. We will have to pay 400 gems to unlock it, but it doesn't seem like there's any real way to avoid this since the walls are so high up. Also, you may be wondering how it's possible to even complete this level without swim, as this is a water level, but just like before, after pressing the first button, we can hold X to bring Spyro up to the surface and then head over to this tower. For some reason, right on top of this gate, there's an invisible surface that's possible to be stood on, which is really hard to find. But once I find it, I can use it to jump to the final platform where the end of the level is. What's interesting here is if you were to talk to the seahorse in the original Spyro 2 without restoring the water, you would soft lock the level. But in Reignited, we're luckily able to finish it without doing so. I just think it's so funny how this game conveniently has a wrong warp, turtle wall clip, invisible platform, and no checks for level completion, because if literally any of these things weren't present, swimless just wouldn't be possible. But with a string of happy accidents from the devs and thorough testing from this community, it's pretty cool what we were able to come up with. And with Aquaria Towers completed, we've collected every talisman in Summer Forest and can now head into the first boss, Crush. This boss is pretty straightforward. We'll just want to take damage on purpose to get him off these pads quicker to be able to deal damage to him. The sheep spawns in this level are a little inconsistent, and sometimes you can get as little as 2 or 3 sheep, but then other times you can get 5. There are ways to manipulate this, although it's a bit inconsistent and not worth losing time over. So the reason I killed so many fodder before this fight is so even if I get the lowest number of sheep, I'll get a blue butterfly, be able to tank through enough hits to damage abuse every hit. It is possible to get a double hit on Crush like you can see Dr. House do in the world record, not once, but twice by having good positioning and flaming Crush frame perfectly. For some reason this doesn't take health off his tracker, but in his run you can see he ends the fight with 2 health points still showing. This is extremely difficult to pull off, and I've only ever hit this once, so it was unlikely to happen during this run, but it's still pretty cool that it's possible. Following this, we're now in the second hub world, Autumn Plains, and I'll start out by heading into the nearby portal to Crystal Glacier. After unfreezing the first group of ice builders, we'll get sent over to the other side of this chasm, and need to start taking out as many enemies as possible. We don't need to free the ice builders in this section, however, since we can make it up to the next platform with a pole jump, which I didn't struggle with at all since I was properly warmed up now. The next trick I'm about to do is really difficult. What I do is position Spyro so that he can take out both of these enemies in one flame, run over to Zoe, and then die as quickly as possible. If timed correctly, the game will still collect the souls from the dead enemies, and the enemies will still respawn after their death. I only get this trick about 50% of the time, so it caught me a bit off guard that I actually performed it correctly. In the event that I do get the dupe, I can then begin clearing out the remaining enemies until the soul counter is at 15, which unlocks the flight power up below. Normally you'd only be able to kill 13 enemies at this point, and wouldn't have access to the flight power up, but with it we can fly to the above platform and skip paying money back 200 gems, which more than makes up for the time we spend on setting this up. It's worth pointing out that flying to this ledge isn't as straightforward as it seems, as each level has a height cap to make sure sequence breaks like this aren't possible. But by holding slightly up on the analog stick to the point Spyro starts descending, then holding down on the D-pad allows us to break the height cap, assuming the stick position is held the entire time. Moving on, we'll clear out the rest of the enemies, free the ice builders, and finish the level. I did make a mistake at the end of this level, which was by pressing exit level rather than opening the guidebook and warping to Autumn Plains directly. This is because when leaving a level, there's a flight transition where all your gems get added up, but manually warping to the hub level skips this, saving nearly 10 seconds on average, minus whatever additional travel time gets added on, only because we're optimizing the real time spent in the game. Traditional speedruns would most likely never do something like this. It doesn't make a massive difference in Spyro 2, but in Spyro 1 and 3 it will, and you'll see me do it a lot more then. Anyways, as you can see in the background, I'm not actually heading into another standard level, but Metro Speedway instead, where we get to fly around in the time trial setting to clear all objectives. But to get into Gulp, we need 14 talismans, and this level doesn't give any, so what's the deal here? Well, without getting too in depth, the first time completing a Speedway level, you're given a limited timer as part of the challenge. But in all subsequent attempts, you're given a 10-minute timer instead for time trialing purposes, and we'll need this 10-minute timer for a later trick. It's worth pointing out that I am not good at Speedway levels, so all expectations of me actually being good at this game should be dropped for the time being, because I nearly fumbled this whole level.
Then don't jump in the water. Don't jump in the water. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk about it.
But the most important thing to me was just not dying or running out of time, and luckily I did manage to avoid that. Just as you clear the last obstacle here, it's actually possible to pause the game as you get credit for completion, which you can see I do get, and this also gives me the ability to go to the guidebook and warp to Autumn Plains, so not only did I save a bit of time from that pause, but another additional 10 from the guidebook, making up for my earlier flubs. Now we'll head into the skiless Badlands. This level is extremely short due to an unintended mechanic that came with the PC release called wall gliding. For some reason on walls with an incline, it's possible to just glide right up them. For this one, I do like to position my camera in such a way to aggro the enemy early to avoid its shot. I didn't get great height at my first attempt, but the second one went fine. And since I saved 200 gems in Crystal Glacier earlier, I was able to skip all the gems in this area that would normally serve as backups and just go straight to the end of the level. And I also did remember to guidebook warp this time. Next up is Breeze Harbor, which has one of the most difficult platforming strats in the whole run. You can see the world record holder Dr. House performing here. While I do think I could pull off this trick with enough practice, I think having anything under 100% accuracy for a trick like this in this type of setting immediately makes it not worth because there's no backup for it, and messing it up once nullifies any time gained from performing it. So instead I'll be using my reliable strats of running through the beginning area of the level, collecting some extra gems which is nice, and then use this window frame to get onto this platform, and then glide onto the track for the trolley. You're not supposed to be able to run Spyro across here, but from this we can actually glide all the way to the flying ship at the end, light both fires, and then end the level. Also, I would just like to point out that the flame you see me do right here did not actually light the log somehow, and honestly, I think I deserve a refund for this game for that alone. Then I'll do one more guidebook warp until we return back for Zephyr, and head over to Moneybags to buy Climb. It's kind of crazy to think how streamlined the world record is at this point, because we only really need gems for level unlocks, and all abilities can be skipped. So each level is pretty much a skip to the end, and you can also skip most of the gems along the way, charging forward the whole time. And while I was explaining that, you can see me completing the level Scorch in the background. This level is one of the easiest to perform end of level skips in the entire run, other than that we can't actually reach the end until we drop this bridge. The whole area has some of the craziest invisible walls in existence, and the entire process for skipping to the end takes way longer than just dropping the bridge. There is a little wall glide we need to do to get to the button quickly, but other than that, this level is pretty easy. The next up is Fractured Hills. In the past couple years, OG Spyro 2 speedrunners actually did manage to find a way to skip into the mountain here to finish the level without freeing the satyrs. But in Reignited's case, the area isn't just surrounded by the mountain, but there's also a massive invisible wall surrounding the whole thing, and it isn't removed until the last satyr is freed. So there's no getting around that, unfortunately. Also, what's funny is I would normally consider the bees in this level the most difficult enemies to deal with in OG Spyro 2, and the bushes are kind of simple to avoid. But in Reignited, the roles are actually swapped, and you can avoid the bees easily, while the bushes are pretty relentless. Anyways, once the final satyr is freed, we can head into the mountain, collect our talisman, and be on our way. Normally we need to get some orbs to get through the nearby door to reach Magma Cone, but this can be bypassed, and it's also faster to just fly around. Like I said earlier, Magma Cone is a bit more complicated of a level if you don't have Climb. Referring to the world record run once again, what top level speedrunners need to do is kill 2 enemies, make this precise jump at the start to get onto this ledge, jump onto this ledge from out of bounds, fly towards this rock and land on it, hit a risky perfect hover to get onto this platform, reach the flight power up, and then use it to complete the level. While I'm not going to be doing all of that, I will be using certain elements from the skip and making my own version with Climb. To start off, I'll do a wall glide here, which can be a bit annoying since there's a weird spot on here where Spyro likes to auto hover at, but then once I land on this platform, I can fly around the level from reverse to reach this ladder. Normally we need to pay money back some gems to enter the volcano, but instead I'll fly to the ledge we just saw Dr. House use, and then attempt to land on the same ledge from out of bounds. Unfortunately, I completely missed this ledge, but that's alright because this route has plenty of easy backups. Once I realized I missed it, I charged below collecting a couple of extra gems, and then used the damage boost on the lava to fly around to the final ladder. This is pretty sketchy since I have no idea what kind of cycle these rocks are on, and I kind of got unlucky getting hit by one. But I did get enough height with the damage boost that I managed to stay on the ladder, climb to the top, and finish the level. Next up, we'll be heading into level Shady Oasis, paying 400 gems and money back to unlock it. While the portal is active without paying any gems, we unfortunately have no way inside, so there's no skipping money bags this time around. In Shady Oasis, we pretty much just have to follow this hippo around the level, flaming these trees that drop fruit, allowing the hippo to grow massive, breaking through each door. There's a lot of dead air spent waiting, so this is a good time to pick up a bunch of gems lying around, just as long as I get back to the hippo at his checkpoint, so he's never standing still. But this can be a little annoying since they added about twice as many checkpoints as they did from the original game. But with this talisman and the final 400 gems needed all collected, we can warp back to Autumn Plains and purchase a portal for Zephyr, which is why we do Shady Oasis first, because there's nearly 200 gems in that level we can get for 0 time. For Zephyr, we'll start at the level with another wall glide, which I messed up at first, but got on my second try. This allows us to skip the beginning section of the level. There are a bunch of different speedrun tricks I could do at this point, like charging on this invisible wall and maneuvering through the TNT crates to get inside the final building, but I decided to take the most consistent route possible, which was just the casual route, and I just blow up the building like normal. Afterwards, I'll warp back to Autumn Plains. The game checks to see if all 14 talismans are collected, and if they are, we get warp to Allura and Gulp's dungeon opens up. Next, I'm going to set up for the most broken trick in the speedrun called level storage. But before I do that, I'm going to head into Gulp's Overlook and then back out, so no matter what happens, this level is unlocked and I can easily warp back to it whenever I need to. So remember how the earlier wrong warp worked? By frame perfectly pausing on the Glimmer portal, I was able to exit the level while still being in the hub world, and what that did was exit me out of the Speedway level. This works the same way if I do it when entering Gulp, but for some reason the cutscene being present doesn't softlock the game in this case. But the problem with Autumn Plains is that there are 2 Speedway levels, Metro Speedway and Icy Speedway. Metro being the one we completed earlier, and Icy we never even purchased. There isn't a strong consensus on how to force the game to warp you to the correct speedway. Top runners have their route down to a T that apparently if they stick to the route exactly and enter and exit the exact same levels in the same order each time, they will always get the same speedway. But in my case, even with running the game with the same route every time, I was always getting mixed results. You'll be able to tell right away after exiting by whether you get a purple or orange background, and in my case I got a purple one, meaning I'll be exiting out of Metro Speedway. And I also got the frame perfect pause on my first try, which was really good. But there's still a lot more to the trick. After exiting the Speedway portal, I'll need to walk back into it, all while the Gulp cutscene is playing in the background, which is pretty easy actually. While in Metro, I'll pause the game, quit the race, and then have the option to retry. If I press retry and then spam skip cutscene, this puts the game in a very weird state because the retry button attempted to reload the Speedway and skipping the cutscene attempted to load Gulp's lair essentially at the same time. But since we technically skipped the cutscene second, Gulp's lair is where we end up. Then if we kill Spyro and do the final damage to him with Gulp's body slam, both of the levels will reload at the same time, and at this point the game will think we're in a Speedway level, all while still being in Gulp. And by making Gulp do his body slam move, freezes his position, allowing me to supercharge him to death. This shouldn't even work since we don't even see his health going down, but I guess it does, and the fight is only a couple seconds long when it used to be an absolute RNG nightmare. Once we get into Winter Tundra, we're supposed to buy the Head Bash ability for 1,000 gems to proceed to the castle, where we turn in 40 orbs to face Ripto. But as you could guess by our lack of gems and orbs, we're going to be doing a game remove instead. Even after Gulp, the level storage glitch is still present, which is why we needed that extended 10-minute timer from earlier, otherwise the Speedway would cancel and the whole trick would just get messed up. Just like in Crystal Glacier, I'm going to need to hold my stick angles to break the height cap to reach inside Ripto's lair. I guess my stick angle wasn't great because I started losing height almost immediately, but luckily I knew of a backup with a gap in the invisible wall, and by using that, I would have just enough airtime to sneak into the entrance behind the door and run into the loading zone. The first Ripto phase is kind of a pushover since he's weak to supercharge, so we can just spam this, but we'll want to grab 2 orbs before finishing him off so we can use them against Robot Gulp. After the first phase ends, we lose our power-ups from level storage, which happens anytime the game forcefully repositions Spyro, but it's not really necessary for this phase anyways. If you get lucky with the closely placed blue orb, it is possible to one-cycle this phase by precisely timing double hits, which you can see I tried doing here. But I charged a little too early on the final charge, thinking I didn't have enough time unless I charged early, and missed it. Oh well. After collecting another 3 orbs that then finish off Gulp, and I'm on to the final phase where the entire stage is turned into lava. It doesn't really matter that we lost our level storage abilities, because for this phase we have infinite super flight and fireball, and just have to follow Ripto around, hitting him as much as possible. There is a set cycle to stick to here for a more consistent fight, but I mess it up pretty early on, and it doesn't really matter much anyways. After Ripto gets to 2 hits left, he'll begin circling around the outside border, and I'll just need to preemptively fire where I think he's going to be at. But once the final shot is fired, the fight concludes and Spyro 2 is officially over in just under 34 minutes. And I'm pretty sure if you subtract the time spent loading up the game and messing with my FPS settings, this run is actually a little faster real time than my PB, which is pretty funny because I wasn't actually trying to beat it. After skipping through the ending credits, we can quit back to the main menu and I'll then choose Spyro 1, since I like getting that one out of the way sooner than later, and I'm pretty sure Spyro 3 takes longer before we can quit to the main menu anyways. Also, even though we have literally quit out of Spyro 2 and moved on to an entirely different Spyro game, the level storage glitch is still present, and can be used to break the other games as well, which is why I honestly think this game might be even more broken than the originals. So for Spyro 1, there aren't really any requirements needed for fighting the final boss. Instead, progression is halted by balloonists that require a certain number of gems or dragons freed in order to progress, which caps at 50 dragons needed for the 4th world and 6,000 gems for the 5th. But for now, we just need to get access to the second hub location, which only requires 10 dragons to be freed. As you can see from the background footage, this can be done extremely quickly, especially in Town Square where we do the entire level backwards, which gives us 3 dragons back to back to back, and then a final one a quick supercharge away. After leaving Town Square, I'll have 8 dragons, and I just need to grab 2 more. I usually save Nestor over here for last, since we can actually skip his normally unskippable cutscene by jumping just as we touch the statue, but in my case I must have been a little late to the jump press. I don't know, I don't even speedrun this game anyways. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, after Nestor gives us a little prep talk, we can grab the last dragon, and then have the balloonist take us to Peacekeepers. So like I said before, these games are pretty broken, but in some ways are intentionally broken. For instance, if we fly behind the balloonist in this world, a dev panel exists, and as Spyro walks into it, we get prompted with a level select with the option to go to the final level immediately. Some would view this as cheating, but I would like to remind you that I didn't put the panel there, it just came with the game. In fact, I'm sure we could easily imply some lore-based reasonings for its existence. Is Gosnold the balloonist the real final boss of the game? What's the source of his power? Who is Gosnold working for? I'm sure all these questions will be answered in Spyro 4, trust me. But at this point, we're probably getting a GTA 7 before that ever comes. But I digress. And I also lied. Before we get into Nasty's portal, there are a few requirements, which are that we need to free the dragon in the Nexus, and complete Nork Cove and Twilight Harbor in that order before the dragon head will open. But both of these levels can be completed in only a few seconds with level storage, and aren't really a bother apart from the loading screens. Yeah, for some reason when this game got ported to PC, the loading screens for Spyro 2 and 3 became immensely faster, but Spyro 1's remained the same, taking an eternity to resolve. Presumably due to the sick flying animation he does each time, so I guess it's worth it. Anyways, with all these levels out of the way, we're finally on to Nasty Nork. To start out, I'll chase down these 2 thieves which drop keys, allowing me to chase Nasty. You can actually skip the key opening animation by jumping over the barrier once you have the key. But I messed this up a little bit and had to do the walk of shame. But yeah, we'll just follow closely behind Nasty through this course, not letting him get too far ahead. But it's pretty easy to catch back up anyways with the supercharged power up. Then I'll flame him once he gets to this platform, and chase him some more. This next area can actually be a little tricky to maneuver, since there's no hovers in this game, so there's very little you can do to save Spyro if you make a mistake. I just like to supercharge ahead of Nasty when I get the chance, and wait for him at the end. And then after the final flame, Spyro 1 is already over in just under 10 minutes, with 42 minutes and 30 seconds on the timer. So far, without nitpicking over tiny mistakes, this run was looking really good, and I was pretty sure I was easily on sub 2 hour pace. I didn't really know because I never kept splits, but if anything, this just makes it more suspenseful. But now we're finally onto the third, and my least favorite Spyro, Spyro 3. So for a bit of spoilers in this game, I'm not going to be able to cheese it the same way like I did in Spyro 1 and 2. Because not only does this not have Gosnold the balloonist and his debug platforms, but also the sorcerers can't be accessed until all 100 eggs are gathered, even with Superfly, since the loading trigger is completely covered. So we have a ton of collecting ahead of us, but with Supercharge and Superflight, we can pretty much just beeline to each egg instantly. We will still need to collect gems along the way, which I have a general route for, and an even more thorough backup plan, assuming I miss a ton. I'll also grab 2 extra lives along the way, just to make sure I avoid any game overs, since we'll need to death abuse a lot in instances where Superflight is lost. Movement at this point is pretty much dependent on avoiding bonks as much as possible, which can feel almost impossible at times with how the camera stays fixed on Spyro for a period of time after collecting an egg. The game will eventually just release the camera, giving a sort of rubber band effect where whatever input you had held is now a completely different direction. It just takes a lot of practice to deal with, which I don't necessarily have, so after collecting eggs, I'll try to avoid supercharging until I have full control over Spyro. But if you see any weird movement after interacting with an egg, it's just how this game is. Moving back to the game, you can see that I also lose all speedway abilities when entering minigame areas, so a lot of these minigames we just won't do for eggs since our abilities won't give any advantage. But in this case, not only can we get a pretty quick egg flaming all these spirits, but by using the flight power up, we can easily cut off the thief and steal his egg as well. So like I stated earlier in the video, it's faster to manually warp back to the hub world in most cases, rather than exiting level. Especially in the case of Spyro 3, where we have supercharge and flight, but there are certain cutscenes that can softlock Spyro if I do this, so it's important that I know when to exit level instead to avoid these. I actually do exit the level in this case, not only for that reason, but because before entering this level, I did half the jumping tutorial with Hunter, and when I return I can pick up where I left off. I'll then collect another egg from supercharging this rock, and then head into Molten Crater. When supercharging around, there are certain enemies and objects that should be avoided like these hogs, otherwise Spyro will bonk. But how could I not resist sending these piggies to outer space? In Molten Crater, I'll only be collecting 2 eggs because I plan on returning here later. And the only reason we even do the level now is because all representatives from each level need to be helped or saved before we can use a transportation method to move between hub worlds. This is sort of why Spyro 2 is the most broken out of the games generally, because the way you progress in that game is by entering loading zones for bosses, rather than needing a balloon to take you everywhere. Anyways, the next level, Seashell Shore, we'll start out by grabbing this egg from under the water, but then there is a wall clip we can do with one of these barrels. I'm not very good at it, however, and I only give it one try before I just break the height cap and fly over the barrier. The reason we want behind this wall is to access a loading zone for the Sheila area, which we normally wouldn't have access to because we haven't freed her yet. This area you would assume to be pretty slow for eggs, but it's actually pretty solid since there are 2 we can grab here. One hidden, and then the other we get after destroying all the machinery. The main reason I don't go for more damage abuse attempts to wall clip is because I want at least a blue sparks here in case I take any damage, which is really common to happen, and there's a lot of good gems here that I want to collect. After finishing, I can exit out of the minigame and go finish the rest of the level as Spyro. Next we'll head into the only speedway of the Spyro 3 run, Mushroom Speedway. Since this is the first speedway, the track is relatively short, giving us a quick egg and 400 gems. But then we'll also want to retry the course after completing it to find Hunter, who is always hiding around in these speedways. Up next is probably my least favorite side mission in the whole game, where we have to fly around as Hunter, shooting down sheep UFOs. If at any point you miss a UFO, not only is it likely to crash into you since you have to essentially drive right into it to aim at it, but they will also shoot back at you, so taking them out quickly is really important. I did lose on my first attempt, but thankfully the second try went as well as it probably could have. But this wasn't where the level went wrong. I accidentally mashed too hard when clearing Sparks' dialogue and pressed retry in the speedway. Alright, I mean, no big deal, let's just quit out of this. But in doing so, I had no idea if you press quit on one speedway, it had also quit out of the Metro Speedway, soft locking the game completely, which was really, really bad. Because this wasn't an instance where you could just reload the game and the glitch would still be active, that ship had already left. So at this point, I had 2 choices. Finish the rest of the Spyro 3 run as a traditional any % speedrun, or go back into Spyro 2 and set up level storage again. Well, since I don't even know how to speedrun Spyro 3 properly, there was only one option, and that was to go back into Spyro 2. So earlier I said that the Speedway wrong warp was random for whether I'd warp to Metro or Icy Speedway, and that was only partially true. This is because, say in my first attempt, I had gotten Icy Speedway instead, upon reloading the game and attempting again, would then always be Metro. So you can always guarantee you'll get whichever Speedway you want within 2 attempts. But since I had already gotten Metro Speedway last attempt, that meant when I tried it this time, I'd get Icy Speedway. So the process for setting this up was frame perfect pause, get Icy Speedway, close the game, get the frame perfect pause again, which would then give me Metro Speedway. On the Metro Speedway attempt, I did miss a pause, which was eventually going to happen, but then for some reason on the next attempt, when I did get the pause, I somehow got Icy Speedway again, when it should have been Metro. So I restarted the game again and got the frame perfect pause again for the 4th time now, and luckily this time, it was Metro Speedway. I would still need to defeat Gulp again to make sure the bug still persists, but with all this out of the way, I could finally go back to Spyro 3. Good thing I'm so consistent at hitting those pause frames because this whole ordeal cost me around 6 minutes, which is a ton of time. But all things considered, I thought it was going to be way worse. But this would have me on edge for the rest of the run, which I'm mostly going to leave to live commentary. And I'll hop in every once in a while when something needs explained, but it's safe to say I was pretty stressed out.
Alright, you're the dragon. Oh my god, oh my god. Wait. Hold on. Thinking. Oh, talk to me. Don't. Okay. Ethan, I'm not worried about when I'm going to be over there. I'm worried about the speedrun. We'll figure it out, man. I don't know. Ask me when my speedrun isn't going in shambles, okay? Okay, I don't know how much time we actually lost, but it seems like a good bit. So this might actually be a clincher. Like, the stakes were pretty low before, and now these suddenly just gotten crazy. Like, this might actually be kind of close. We'll see. I'll do my best. Like I have been. Hindsight is a bitch. Listen, it does make for better content, but I'm not having fun. I'm not happy about this. This was supposed to be the chill section of the run, and now it's stressful. I suck at these bosses. Like, this isn't great. Like, if I just, like, everywhere I fuck up now, it just, like, hurts badly. Also, coolest skybox in the game. IMO. Like, now I have to just, like, what if I forget an egg or something, dude? That'd be terrible, dude. I think we just play this safe as hell. Like, I'm just gonna run away from him like this, and even though I'm not really supposed to, I'm just gonna play it so safe. One in lava. All right, sheep should spawn now, all right? Ship. Or did I miscount or something? Yeah, I was gonna say. Grab it. Okay, cool. Another sheep, please. I would have liked if he ran into that. This game sucks. Okay, that's what. Oh no. I want another sheep. Yeah, I genuinely don't trust myself. Okay. We just. All right, cool. I know that it's so scuffed, but like, you know that's better than dying. We all know that's better than dying. We had the weirdest interaction there that put me down to no sparks, and I wasn't gonna take that. I was not gonna take that risk. Like, it just isn't worth it. Listen, we're fine. We still have, guys, we have plenty of time. We have 54 minutes for glory. All I have to do is not soft lock in this level, which I would never do. Oh. There we go.
Wow.
Said you a Spyro boy. Oh my god. Trying to freestyle. I don't know how he landed that, but thank you for landing it. We all appreciate you, Spyro. Bro really shredded. No. That's good. Good. Wait. Oh yeah. I was like, where's the other one at? Okay. Ideally not mess this up. Oh my god, why did the camera flip back around? That's not great. Okay. Exit level. Exit level. We exit level. Otherwise I soft lock. Exit level. No, I'm okay. No, we're safe. I think I'm safe for the rest of the run. Knock on wood. Get that. I think that's what I've been doing. That's fine. Oh. Oh, wait, hold on. There's a thingy right there. Dude, why do they? Every time my movement's messed up because of that, I'm like, why did they do that? It makes it so much harder with the supercharge. Dude, flip around, please. What? There's no way, man. Dude, did you see how close I was to him? Oh my god, dude. I didn't think it spawned me that close because the beginning of the level isn't that close. Like, it doesn't spawn you that close. Don't know why it respawns you that close. But, you know. Okay, honestly, like real talk, if I forgot an egg, what I would do is I would flip through every page, right? And then exit out of the game, right? Wait, that was mine. What? Hey, what was I supposed to do about that? How was I supposed to win there? Oh wait, there's a chicken that's not good. He just hit the... Dude, that chicken was already dead, man. Uh-oh. Yep. All right, let's... Oh, before you... See, that's why you want to hit it dead on. Oh, this is not good. I should be baiting out his shots before I hit it. Okay, give me another chicken real quick. Just, I don't know what... See, I can't even see sparks. Excuse me, sir. Yep, cock. No, not fire. Don't run in the fire, Spyro. There we go. Doing great. Doing great. No, dude. What? Stop. What? This is not going great. I will officially declare that. This run is not going great. Pew! Drop it like it's hot. Bitch. I'm gonna run over here. Stand right here real quick. What? Oh, we got plenty of time, guys. We got plenty of time. Guys, if I don't nail this speed run, I'm not eating until I recoup $40 worth of food. Just as the Buddhist monks used to do when they couldn't get their Spyro refunds. Oh, we have the next like worst mini game coming up here. Egg, please. Oh, beautiful. All right, here's how it's gonna go, guys. Here's how it's gonna go. I'm really good at this. So I have all the strats. Here's what's here. You just gotta drive right over here. If you aim right there, you will hit both of them. Oh. Hold on. Where's that one exit out of? Is it here? All right, I saw somebody else going there, so for that one at least. Oh, juked. Don't. Oh, that breaks line of sight. Oh, there he is. Do this. There. All right, that went awful, but it usually does for me. Again, it's one of those ones that either goes really well or just tragically horrible. And we got the ladder. I'm actually gonna exit level here because I kind of like where we exit the portal at, right next to the whale. Yeah, we just have to get in there right away. Please? Oh, nice. Just as intended. And yeah, I just like to quick continue there after once I get it. I feel like it works out a lot easier than getting spit out and whatnot. Like, I'm kind of changed up the route in my head the other day without actually practicing it. So gotta remember, it's not something you should do. You should probably practice route changes. But what I do is I shadow box speedrun. There we go. I was actually supposed to take damage there. I was trying to remember if I had what kind of sparks I had there, but I forgot. I quick continued there, so we have a fresh spark. You're trying to tell me you're not throwing. I never said that. I am throwing, just not intentionally. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to do that. Just kidding, yes I am. I'm a genius. Ha, you guys will never know if I'm doing something wrong or not. Okay. That one always sketches me out because like it looks like it's gonna soft block, but it doesn't. I didn't want to talk to you. I don't talk to girls. Meow. I'm gonna see how many lives I have. I should be fine. I don't usually grab 2 extra lives, so 5. No. Oh, that was like so insanely clutch. Holy crap, that hover. You guys don't understand how I have my hands on the controller to be able to like get up there that quickly. It's hard. Like, oh my god. So you have to do some like shenanigans to break the height cap. Oh, that was clutch. Also, some weird stuff's happening here. You don't have to worry about that. And now we're down to 4. Now we need to get 1,000 gems. That is the main goal at this point. Then we don't have to worry about gems for literally the rest of the speedrun. I want to say I'm doing pretty well on gems, but I'm also an idiot, so I could be wrong. Oh wait, that puts me right there. Here, while I'm here, I'm gonna grab these. There's like 3 right here. I didn't actually intend to land right there, but that's how it worked out. And then, wait. Oh, here we are. Wait a second. I'll come back for that. We'll get a lot here. Get a little Stoopy snack and where does that put us at? Grab this, that. How many more do I need? I think we get 30 in there. Okay, so that and that should be fine. Okay. I don't think I was actually doing as well in gems as I thought, but yeah. Boom, boom. Yeah. What? What? How? Why is that? The game is what position? Okay, maybe I just had to press it earlier. I have never had that interaction happen. How am I feeling? Not so good, Yami. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's just get through Evening Lake and... Oh, I think we're fine. Wait, let me see how many eggs I have here in a second. Sucks in general, sucks to run. I would say both, but I feel like we're doing good. We need to get 1 egg per minute. And 1 dragon queen. Oh wait, that's gonna make sorcerers are gonna be stressful. And okay, don't spawn anything. And then Bentley, give me some shit. Give me some shit. Give me some shit. Yeah. Yo, he didn't give me anything. Yo, you stingy asshole. He just didn't do it. Oh, dude, please hit. I think did that count as a hit? I think it did. What a dick, dude. You're allowed to throw a red over here. I guess I'll just go for the green for a sec. And I screwed it up because of that. Great. Thank you, Bentley. Dude, can you throw like a single red? I have another green rocket. I guess I'll just... No, of course. Dude, what is this RNG, man? Can't say I've ever had that happen before. Where I got 1 red the whole time. The timer do be timing. Oh, don't know how to do that. I was afraid to fly around him. Okay, and it's to the right or the... Yeah. And then trying to avoid the sign there. Like, you see how quickly we get eggs? I feel like I'm fine, but time will tell. What the son of a bitch. Absolutely juked. I hope so, dude. Hopefully these sharks go well too. Oh, wait, you can skip that cutscene? I don't know. I want there's like this mini game and like the tank mini game. I kind of want to go well. It's fine, just avoid that. Oh my, what the? Oh! Praying on my downfall. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my. Dude, that was unreal. Never had it been that close before. Oh, it wasn't. That was not okay. Oh yeah, I press quit continue, so I have gold sparks for Sheila. Hate this section, the side scrolling section. Because it like stores her double jumps. So, it doesn't feel good. All right, I pretty much have all the gems I need, by the way, so I need to stop like charging into those. 20 minutes. Yeah, it's probably off a little, but let's just assume it's not. And assume for the worst case scenario.
I see you. I am a vest.
Egg. Egg. Oh, guys, I feel like we're cooking. Egg. Oh God, I wasn't at all disoriented. Okay.
The riddle is...
Oh, of course it's 12. Duh. Mouse and keyboard strats, baby. Turn on the aim assist. I didn't think you'd come out that way. Hey, come here. Not really want to hit that fodder. Oh, the slow cactus. 94. So we have to exit that area there, so it disables the supercharge to get through this door, because otherwise it won't work. Whee! What's my lives looking like? Crazy random question here. 2? Okay. Not that I'd ever die. Okay, I think I know the adjustment I need to make on this one, but I might still mess it up. And then we kind of just want wider turns here. Okay, that's a bit too wide, but it still worked out. Either way, wider is just better. Wait, 99? What? Should I have 100? Wait. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Oh no. Oh no. I baited you guys for free. Fucking idiots. Okay. I deserve that. I deserve that one. I deserve that one. All right, guys. We got 15 minutes to kill this boss. This would be the fumble probably of the past decade. Not gonna lie. Okay, first of all, don't soft lock here. Okay. Step 1. Having supercharge is a little nice here because you just don't get hit by anything. There's 0 chance. But if I get hit once, which it's probably gonna happen, then we already have to deal with sheep. So yeah, I really didn't want to have that level spark. So I was kind of considering continuing here, but oh, not realize this was all set up. Okay, well, cheap time. Wait for it. Just do something. Okay, luckily your stomach didn't hit me. Okay, done with the cannon section. Wait, was I that down bad? Oh, that means I did. That means I was at green sparks. I did not know that. I'm not kidding. I did not know that. I really didn't know that. Oh, we're okay now. I did not know that. I was 1 hit away. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. All right, this is the worst part though. UFO, IMO. 360 no scope the last hit. Ah. All right, dude. Okay, there's one. Can we avoid this? Yep. You missed. Did I hit her? I think I might have flown right past her. Let's just get another sheep real quick. Let's just, like, we're good right now. Like, we can just, nah, fuck it. Yep, there we go, baby. Alta 4. Fuck you, bitch. 107 minutes. Wait, what? 100. Oh no, that's accurate. 108 minutes. Yeah. Wait, I'm stupid. Oh, we did it, guys! Woo! All right, let's go. I was able to math. All right, let's put the timer there. Free game. At 108 minutes, if you can squint and see that. Gamer Guy 87 wins again.